Namaste and welcome to Inspiring Women. Inspiring Women features inspiring thoughts, success stories, and interviews of women leaders from all over the world. We have with us Mrs. Daljit. She is the Managing Director of Visionplanet Australia and also a university lecturer.
In one of your interviews, you have said everyone must map their career. How can women map their career? What are the things that they must keep into consideration?
I guess it's no different for men or women in mapping the career, but ultimately what you need to be looking at, what is it that you so desire to become, and what is going to be the ultimate outcome of mapping your career. Mapping your career comes back to the right education, finding the right pathway that could extend you in making sure that the career opportunity is there, and the diversification and the level of skills that is required.
Women are challenged because of competition, and just because they are women, they have to go through many difficulties and obstacles. What were the difficulties you faced in your career?
As a woman, the challenge is trying to juggle between family, professional life, and your career. Challenges are very good. Challenges also present opportunity and presents risks. And it's a matter of how do you manage that. I always viewed competition as healthy because it made me inspire to becoming something even bigger and better in life. And it's, if there is something that I could convey a message to the women, is dream big. Have the confidence of your goals, and in an equality arena, try and make the most of the opportunities that presents.
It is said that after marriage, it is difficult for a woman to handle personal and professional life. How has been your experience?
Having a lovely family, understanding family, but as an individual, as a woman, I need to prioritize. And for me, it was always family. Family first, cater to them, and focus on the career as I went on. I've had the best time of my life, having very understanding families from both sides. In terms of career perspective, it's striking the balance, because not only would you be looking after the family, but you're looking after your career as well as you're aspiring to, I guess, the demands of a professional career.
How do you balance your professional and personal life?
My friends were always there with us. So there's a balance when I say that. And let me probably go back to my working day that I begin. I would get up in the morning, and back in Australia, we have to fend for everything ourselves. We don't have the luxury that you people have of someone coming and cooking in the kitchen. So, I would make sure that all accommodation for the family is done, head off to work. There's a cut-off point when my son was growing up, make sure that I go and sit and do the piano classes with him, do some homework, and then as the family finishes for the night, then sit back and work until, the night's early hours of the morning. It is the woman of the house that either makes or breaks the family. And so that's something, I guess I'm very family orientated, so that helped. And then I've had the best life in terms of family, friends, career, and professional connections throughout the world.
Failure is the greatest teacher. What kind of failures have you experienced in your life, and how has it transformed you?
Life, as I said previously, is a journey. And through that journey, there are risks associated. And each time you come up against obstacles, that is a failure within yourself. It's how you really understand the word failure. Failure can be in very different connotations. If I wanted to succeed something and it hasn't succeeded to my expectation, that is a failure. But within that, it opens up the opportunities as well. And then how do you take on the next step of coping with that little mishap or something that hasn't been on track? And then how do you succeed with that? Failure doesn't mean that you've not that hasn't worked or you've lost your job. No. Failure within every day's life, you encounter those failures. And how do you work through those?
How has your experience of working over 15 countries been? How did you adapt to the culture of different countries?
One has to perfect the art of connecting with people from different walks of life. I guess I was very lucky with the hotel training initially, because that's where you're all the time with people, serving people. And within that organisation structure, I was very fortunate with the Oberoys, we were taught the art of connecting with people from different walks of life. And then as I entered into a different arena at the GM levels, and when I used to travel overseas to do all the trade shows, our government used to make sure that we understood different cultures. And the art of working in those countries is really connecting with the people, and I love people from different walks of life, and it's interesting. It's understanding the norms of their culture, the etiquette that is required, and the business etiquette that is required, and that in itself gives you the level of success.
You are a successful hotelier, a passionate educationalist, a global entrepreneur, and also a very successful homemaker, I would say. So how did you manage all these in one life?
It's called balance. It's called prioritization. Ability to time manage and have the drive, the fire in the belly to succeed. I always saw myself as someone very competitive in the global arena. I have enough experience, knowledge, and once you build that experience and knowledge, within that derives that sense of strength, confidence, of then working in a bigger environment. And I've absolutely enjoyed every moment of having those different experiences and bringing all those experiences together to doing what I'm now engaging into, and which is a very exciting pathway.
Australia is an education hub for students all around the globe. How has it become successful?
Because Australia has been very multicultural, embracing of different cultures. The number of migration that takes place from different countries as well. And I think the biggest advantage that we've had down under is that we are very welcoming, we are very sensitive to different cultures. Even our teaching as a university lecturer, we understand when different groups are sitting in front of us as to how to cope with their differences. And Australia has been a fantastic opportunity for international students. It's where equality is very well practiced and opportunities that are given to one and all. So there's no difference from the gender, which is an advantage. So with that, with the high level of multiculturalism, students have enjoyed and embraced that country, and many have transformed their lives completely, as we all have. I mean, I was born in the Pacific and I grew up in Australia, and the opportunities that it presented was enormous. And it comes back to ultimately you as the individual, and how engaging do you want to become, or do you want to be, and involved, and take advantage of every opportunity.
What, according to you, are the qualities a woman must have to reach the top level?
Dream big, have the confidence, never think that you're inferior, always have the strength to move on. And as an inspiring individual that we women are, I always believe that, we have the strength, we have the skills, we are multitasked. That is our biggest asset. And just stay focused and believe in yourself. That's what I did. I've always believed in myself, that I can do this. Being very level-headed about it, with no arrogance, but being very passionate about it as well. And anyone can succeed, regardless of colour, regardless of creed, And as long as you're willing to adapt and believe in yourself as to what you're doing, you will succeed.
You said that the map to a good career is right education. I think right education comes with right choices, but youths today, especially I think in women, they're, because of probably the background we have, we are not sure of which field is good for us, which choices could be right for us. Not all of us, some are very strong-headed, but some are really confused about which career to go. So what are the facilities in Australian education system that guides all these confused students?
That is, there are three folds to that answer, to that question, and it's a very good question. Because let's start off from here, in a home country. The clarity is what you're asking for, looking for, and that clarity isn't given to you from the start. And the culture in itself also is very much where it's semi-dictated by what is expected from the family, that you go with the norm. But then if you're radical, as you're saying, then what you're saying is, if I'm a radical and go against my family to what they're asking me to do, but I've got a certain passion I want to drive and still I'm not clear on that, then yes, you do need your career very, very clearly mapped and identified. And these are the opportunities that is very hard to find in Nepal. I'm hoping that this is where, with Visionplanet, that we are able to provide you with that. Being an academic, a faculty member, we look at very strategic, very stringent mapping of your career path. So asking you for your desire, give me your 2 or 3 options that you really want to become. Looking at your curriculum or your results of your degree, or whether it's a high school degree as well, and looking at the strengths, the areas of where you've excelled. Then mapping that with your 2 or 3 options of desires that we would say, here are the various career paths that we can provide you with.
We had an interesting and inspiring interaction with Mrs. Daljit. We will be back next week with a new episode. Thank you for being with us. Namaste.
The obstacles that you face in life should be an opportunity for you to explore more. And I wish you all the very best.